Hello everyone, I hope you're doing great. In this tutorial, I'm going to show you how you can analyze Likert type items through the independent samples t-test and how you can interpret the results in compliance with the EPA style. So I'm going to share with you even a template. Uh, if we want to analyze a Likert type item. Let's say we're using the independent samples t-test. There should be two variables. The independent variable, let's say gender, that consists of, for instance, two groups, and the dependent variable, let's say the use of L1, that consists of different or five values ranging from strongly disagree to strongly agree. So to analyze these differences using the independent samples t-test, we go to analyze, then we go to compare means, and then we go to independent samples t-test. And then I have to move the variable. So let's just increase this a little bit. I have to move the gender variable to the grouping variable like this, and then I have to define the groups. Remember the values. So here we have 1, 2, and then we can take a Likert type item like maintain discipline. Who aims to maintain discipline in the classroom more by using the L1 are the male or female respondents. For options, I can just keep this as it is. Just this has to do with dealing with missing values. You can choose which method to apply and confidence interval percentage. So click continue and then click OK, and let's wait for the output. So as you can see here, we have maintain discipline, we have gender, we have the N that refers to the number of the participants, we have the mean score that is telling as it refers to the degree of agreement or disagreement. We have standard deviation that refers to how each group differs from the other, and standard error of the mean. So anyways, what is important here is the mean score and the standard deviation, because the independent samples t-test is a parametric inferential statistical test. And to see whether or not there are statistically significant differences between male and female respondents with regard to their agreement with maintaining discipline through the L1, we don't notice any statistically significant difference as the p-value is above 0.05. It's here 31, as you can see. However, there is a slight difference between female and male respondents with regard to maintaining discipline in favor of male respondents. Like maybe male respondents agree more, or they are even undecided with regard to the use of L1 to maintain discipline. However, this difference is not statistically significant as it cannot be generalized. So to report this, we're not going to copy and paste these tables to the output or the Microsoft Word document. We are going to follow some equations. So let's go back to this template. So you can say that I will just, an independent samples t-test was conducted to compare male and female respondents in their attitudes towards, let's say, the use of L1 to maintain discipline. Okay, these are like the values. Then you can see here T, the degrees of freedom, equals the T statistic and the P value. So this is like the equation that we use. And we can say that the independent variable reports the higher levels of frequency and agreement, for example, of male respondents. And you put the mean equals and standard deviation italics like this. And we have this equal sign. And then you go to the table of the descriptives and you put the mean of the male group or the female group that equals 3 and the mean of the male group that equals 3.30 along with ST or standard deviation for each. Uh, so once you finish this equation of descriptive stats for each group like male and female respondents, you come here to this equation that I showed you and it says T 84 equals 2.3 P, etc. So this equation can be taken from, so this is like the mean and standard deviation scores and how they can be interpreted. If you can see, you can take the mean and standard deviation for each group separately. But for the equation, it can be taken or drawn like this. So we have the T, we go to the degrees of freedom for the equal variance assumed, and we write it between parentheses, equals 2.89. It is taken from the T value that corresponds to the equal variance assumed, and then comma, and then P equals, and you put the sig2 tail. So if the P value is below 0.05, this means, or equal to 0.05, this means that there is statistically significant difference between the two groups at the 95% or so to speak. If not, then there is no statistically significant difference between male and female respondents with regard to their use. So this means that the gender is not an important variable with regard to the use of L1 maintaining discipline. So this is how you can interpret, or this is the template that involves the interpretation on the, let's say, how to conduct and interpret independent samples t-test, as well as the way you can report that in an equation. If you have questions or remarks, do not hesitate to post them below. Contact me via one of my social media. For the next series, if you like this, I'm going to share with you how you can interpret ANOVA results, how you can report correlation results, how you can interpret and report chi-square results, and how you can interpret and report regression results. So till then, see you soon, and we keep in touch. Bye for now.